This is Eduardo here in the Willamette Valley in Rainbow, Oregon. And who am I speaking to?
Rails.
Rails.
Yes.
Rails, where are you from, man?
Originally Illinois.
Illinois. You were
Yeah.
born in Illinois?
Yeah.
And how long did you live there?
Till I was like 7th grade.
Okay, so when you were about 14 or so.
Yeah, then uprooted and moved down to the boonies, southeast Texas.
With your folks?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So 14 years old, you moved to Texas.
yeah.
What happened then?
Lived there for a while. It was a heck of a life change, moving from northern Illinois to boonies of Texas.
What kind of a life change?
The lifestyles are totally different. Like, simplest thing as an example would be like, I remember when I was younger growing up in middle school, before I moved down to Texas, I actually said yes ma'am to one of my teachers one time and got suspended for school for it. Now down in Texas, you better say yes ma'am.
Right.
You know, so it was those two different totally worlds, you know.
Uh-huh.
And that's such a young, and being a younger kid right in the midst of my teenage years, it was such a big change.
So how long did you stay in Texas?
Till I was 17, and then
Okay, so about 3 years, huh?
yeah, well, a little more than that. So, yeah, because I was in like between 6th and 7th grade when I moved down there.
Okay.
And then when I was 17, my parents gave me the boot. Yeah.
For what?
Well, my mom, there was one day my mom got in a big argument with her boyfriend and whatnot, and like he like laid hands on her. So like, she was like, I don't want to press charges as long as I get my car back. She got her car back. Well, the next day, here he comes showing up when she's gone. I'm out trying to find her new puppy. I didn't know she took it with her. I'm driving the car around the neighborhood trying to find the puppy. Here he comes running at me, yanks me out of the car, throws me across the road, and get back to the house. Motherfucker throws me through the door of my room, blows the door right off the hinges. Yeah, so like I jump out the window of my room, run off, tell my dad. My dad gets to me, sees that my neck and the backside of me is like covered in handprints. So he calls the cops. The cops are like, you want to press charges? And I'm like, what? For what? He's like, your back is just covered in handprints. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I was like, hell yeah, I want to press charges. Not just that, it was the same cop that came the night before for the predicaments that happened the night before.
Wow.
So he was really pissed off at my mom's boyfriend at this point now. And so not only was I able to press charges on what he did to me, but I was also able to press charges on what he did to my mom the night before.
Wow.
So they immediately handcuffed him and took him to jail. Next day, I'm waiting on my mom to pick me up from work, and she never shows up and whatnot. Finally, my dad shows up about an hour later. I've been just waiting for a ride. Dad shows up an hour later, says, your mom kicked you out. I'm like, are you kidding me? What the hell is going on? Turns out she turned around and got the bail money from his grandmother and went and picked him up out of jail.
Wow.
So she chose him over me.
Mm-hmm.
Then my dad, I just don't get along with my stepmom at all.
Uh-huh.
And so it was, my dad was just like, you got a week to get out.
Wow.
So I had a week to figure out what I was going to do with my life. And ended up, he was willing to buy me a bus ticket up to Illinois, to where I got a little bit of family still up there. And but I had to give him like all my personal belongings, and I'd bought or acquired all these personal belongings by myself, not through them either.
Uh-huh.
You know, I had a brand new PlayStation 2. I had a couple of games that were worth. One game I had was worth over $200. It just came out. Another game I bought was worth $100. PlayStation alone was worth like $150. You know, I had a computer I built myself with a sound system that was hooked up to 10-inch subs and surround. It was all acquired. I acquired it myself, you know, and I had to, in order for him to buy a $200 bus ticket, he made me give him all of that stuff.
Wow.
All of my good personal.
This was your
belongings.
dad?
Yeah, my dad.
Uh-huh.
And so I ended up just giving it to him. Ended up going up there, stayed up there for a little while, and then found out what heroin and crack was.
Really?
Yeah, and went through a phase for a while. Then my mom got word of, actually out of all people that contacted my mom, Actually, I know how he got a hold of it, but he went through the grapevine to figure it out. My dealer, which was also a friend of mine, he was my friend before he became my dealer. Uh, Started seeing how bad I was getting and was getting worried, and figured out a way to get a hold of my mom. And she talked to me one day, convinced me to go to a rescue mission to clean up. I was there for about a week, and met this old cat from old Nam vet. Been traveling since Nam, and told me about the road, and I was like, well, man, I got a car in the next town over. Just go pick it up. You know, it's mine. You know, title's my insurance is my name.
Right.
It's my car. And so next day we make a hike over to the next town, pick up my car, and I've been on the road pretty much ever since. And
How long's that been?
since I was 17, I'll be 25 next month.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah,
So you're like 7 or 8 years on the road.
Yeah, with a couple of pauses in between. I got married at one point. That just recently ended last year. About a year ago now. It's been about because it's the beginning of August. So yeah, it's been like right at a year now that we've been no longer together. And
So what do you think about this life on the road?
well, I enjoy it for the most part. You know, every lifestyle has its downs. You know, every lifestyle has its ups. You know, there's hundreds of different lifestyles out there, and this is the one that I wouldn't say I chose it. In the beginning, I kind of did, but there's been at least three, I want to say 3 different times now that I've actually ended up back out here, not by choice.
Mm-hmm.
It just happened. You know, it's like the universe has brought me back out here. It's like, this is where I'm supposed to be. You know, there are those days I go by like, what the fuck am I going to do? You know, what about when I get old and raggedy, I can't even walk anymore, you know? I get those times, you know. Yeah, I thought about stopping and doing some truck driving, but I'm too much of a pothead for that. But I'm not gonna lie, I ran into a lot of truckers that are stoners off their asses too and don't give a shit. You know, I've sat back and ridden with truckers, man. I was smoking doobies going down the road. You know, oh look, here comes the port of entry. Put it out and light a cigarette. Yeah.
So what about your life so far? What experience have you gained in your life so far that you'd like to share with people?
As in what? 'Cause there's so many. I've seen things in my life that nobody will ever see in their entire life. One of the best things I have to say I saw was, well, for one, Bigfoot is real. I'll tell you that, and I've seen them right here in Oregon.
Really?
Yeah, out near, in between Coos Bay and I-5. Yeah, there's a little sidewinding highway between Coos Bay and I-5. And yeah, it was the middle of the night. It was I'd never started my car and taken off faster in my entire life.
Really?
I didn't know what to think. I was just like, holy shit, and peeled out.
Wow.
Yeah, but also was within my first bit of traveling when I left from Illinois, I made it to Eugene, Oregon before the first vehicle I had out on the road with me. Its alternator and battery went out on me, and I just felt like I was being tied down at that moment. I didn't want anything tying me down at that.
Right.
I just wanted to be free at that time, and that vehicle was tying me down.
Back, huh?
Yeah, it was holding me back. And when that happened in Eugene, that was like 7.5 years ago. You know, I literally just put a sign in the window that says, if you want it, you can have it. This is what's wrong with it. Even sign my name down the bottom, so if they really want to, they can take that piece of cardboard into the DMV, and it's a legal bill of sale.
Huh.
So they could acquire the title.
Huh.
You know, and just left the keys in the window and walked away from it. Caught my first train out of Eugene, Oregon. Headed up north. Went as far north as where's I at? Everett, Washington.
Uh-huh.
Snohomish, up near there, and then that's what's considered the High Line.
Right.
That was one of my first major rides, and it's the most